Okay, so you want to buy a golf course. Find the land, cut the grass, charge $200 a round, watch the members tee off. But here's the strange part. Golf courses are one of the only hospitality businesses on earth where the primary product, 18 holes, 4.5 hours, a cart, almost never generates enough revenue to justify the land it sits on. And the companies that own the most famous, most prestigious, most sought-after courses on the planet are not primarily in the golf business at all. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why that's possible, how golf courses actually make money on the inside, why a full tee sheet on a Saturday morning still isn't enough to keep the lights on, and why a golf course is almost never the business most people think it is. Golf courses come in 3 tiers, and they are 3 completely different businesses. A small daily fee municipal course in the Midwest costs between $1 and $5 million to acquire. For that, you get 18 holes of average conditioning, a small clubhouse with a grill that smells like it was last renovated in 1987, and a parking lot full of retirees who will play every single Tuesday until one of them physically cannot. A mid-size private country club runs you between $20 and $80 million. Think Winged Foot Golf Club in New York, a property synonymous with 5 U.S. Opens, with a membership waiting list measured in years and initiation fees that begin where most people's annual salaries end. And then there is the top tier, where the price tag loses contact with ordinary business math entirely. Pebble Beach Golf Links, one of the most iconic coastal properties on Earth, was purchased in 1999 by $820 million by a group of investors who immediately understood something that most golf fans never think about. The 18 holes were not the asset they were buying. But we will get there. 2 costs nobody warns you about. The first is water. A single 18-hole golf course consumes between 50,000 and 100,000 gallons of water every single day just to keep the turf alive, which means a golf course in Arizona, Texas, or California is not a recreational business. It is a water utility, subject to municipal drought restrictions, emergency pricing surcharges, and in some markets, an annual water bill that exceeds the total combined payroll of its entire ground staff. The second cost is the superintendent, the head golf course superintendent, the person personally responsible for every blade of grass on the property, commands between $80,000 and $180,000 a year at a competitive private club. He oversees a grounds crew that can number 30 to 50 people, and he operates a fleet of specialized turf equipment where a single fairway mower costs $45,000 and needs to be replaced every 5 years. You are not buying a grass business. You are buying a precision agricultural operation with a country club attached to one end of it. So where does the money actually come from? Every golf course is built around one mechanism the industry understands completely but almost never explains publicly. Call it the captive afternoon. A tee time is the most perishable inventory in the entire hospitality industry. A hotel room unsold tonight can be sold tomorrow. A tee time at 7:45 on Monday morning that nobody booked is revenue that is mathematically, permanently, irreversibly gone the moment the starter waves the next group through. The industry has a term for managing this pressure: tee sheet yield management. Easiest way to picture it: imagine you own 12 tables at a restaurant. You can seat each table twice on a Friday night. If 4 tables sit empty, you've lost revenue that closes at midnight. Now imagine your restaurant can only serve customers between sunrise and mid-afternoon. You can only seat each table once. Customers must book months in advance, and your busiest days are completely controlled by weather. That is a golf course's revenue reality every single morning. Every available tee time is a depreciating asset that reaches zero the second the sun moves past it. Nothing is more expensive in this business than an empty fairway. This is why inside the revenue architecture of every serious golf operation, the single most protected number is not rounds played. It is revenue per available tee time. A municipal course charging $45 a round at 80% tee sheet utilization is outperforming a private course charging $220 a round at 30% utilization. The math of empty tee times is merciless, and it is the reason the golf industry invented its single most powerful financial instrument, the initiation fee. We will come back to that, because that is where this business actually lives. Now the architecture. You have played a round of golf. Think about where everything sits. The pro shop is positioned between the parking lot and the first tee, which means every golfer must walk through retail merchandise before they can reach the course. The halfway house, the small food stand at the 9th hole, exists at the precise moment of maximum psychological openness, when the golfer is warm, relaxed, and exactly halfway committed to a day they cannot get a refund on. The 19th hole, the bar adjacent to the 18th green, captures spending from a customer who just completed 4 hours of physical and emotional investment, is standing within 30 feet of 12 other people who feel exactly the same way, and whose spending resistance is at their lowest point of the entire visit. The industry has a name for this design philosophy. Call it the revenue corridor, a property engineered so that the natural path of every golfer's day passes through every profit center in exactly the right emotional sequence at exactly the right moment before they ever reach the parking lot. And then there is the most powerful customer retention system in the golf industry, the membership structure. A private club simultaneously collects 2 completely separate revenue streams from every member. The initiation fee, paid once, often running between $25,000 and $250,000 at a prestige club, functions as a commitment deposit that makes the member psychologically incapable of quitting without confronting the full weight of everything already spent. The annual dues, running between $8,000 and $40,000 per year at a competitive private club, then layer guaranteed recurring revenue on top of that sunk cost anchor, year after year, automatically. Here is what the club director knows that the new member never does. An average private golf member plays 31 rounds per year, a membership costing $15,000 annually divided by 31 rounds costs the member $484 every single time they tee off, almost certainly more than a walk-up rate at a comparable daily fee course 15 minutes away. The member knows this. They joined anyway, because they are not buying golf. They are buying belonging, status, access, and the daily psychological comfort of being the kind of person who belongs to that particular club. The golf is almost incidental. The initiation fee made everything permanent. So here is the whole revenue model in one sentence. Initiation fees multiplied by annual membership size, multiplied by dues, multiplied by ancillary capture across the pro shop, food and beverage, and private event rental. And every square inch of that property exists to maximize one of those 4 numbers. So with all of this, a captive membership, guaranteed annual dues, a physical property that appreciates with the surrounding land market, a customer base too emotionally and financially committed to quit, why do golf courses fail? And they do fail, widely, repeatedly, expensively. 2 mistakes show up across nearly every golf course failure in modern history, and almost every famous collapse traces back to one of them. Mistake 1. Building for a boom that was already ending. Between 1986 and 2005, the United States opened approximately 5,000 new golf courses, adding enormous supply to a market that was quietly, invisibly losing demand. By 2006, courses were closing faster than they were opening for the first time in the industry's history. American Golf Corporation, once the largest golf course management company in the United States, with over 300 properties under management, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They had built an empire on the assumption that the number of American golfers would grow forever. It didn't. And oversupply in the golf industry doesn't look like oversupply in retail, because golf courses are enormous, illiquid, expensive to maintain assets that cannot be repurposed quickly. A failed restaurant becomes a new restaurant within 6 months. A failed golf course becomes a very large, very expensive, very complicated problem that takes years to resolve. Mistake 2. Confusing the amenity for the business. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, dozens of luxury residential communities built signature golf courses designed by famous architects, priced memberships at aspirational levels, and sold homes on the surrounding lots at corresponding premiums. The golf course was the marketing engine for the real estate. Then the housing market collapsed in 2008, lot sales stopped, the real estate revenue that was quietly subsidizing the golf operation disappeared overnight, and courses built to enhance a residential development found themselves operating as standalone golf businesses, a role they were never financially designed or priced to survive. Dozens closed within 18 months of their surrounding developments stalling. If your golf course depends on the homes next to it selling in order to keep the greens mowed, you do not own a golf course. You own a marketing expense for a real estate project that just stopped working. Step back for a second. The economics of golf are genuinely paradoxical. There is almost no business where the primary product is more universally beloved, more aggressively marketed, more emotionally loaded with aspiration and identity, and yet more structurally unprofitable when examined purely on its own operational merits. Golf courses occupy some of the most valuable land in the most desirable locations in the world: coastal bluffs, lakefronts, urban greenbelts, and consistently underperform financially compared to almost any alternative use of that exact same land. They survive because three forces operate simultaneously: the initiation fee's sunk cost trap that makes members functionally unable to leave, the real estate premium that surrounding properties command simply by existing next to manicured open space, and a customer base willing to pay for social belonging at a level no green fee alone could ever mathematically justify. Remove any single one of those three forces and the economics collapse. The game gives you the customers, the membership structure keeps their money, and the land quietly does the rest. Two scenarios, real numbers. Scenario 1, a daily fee course outside Columbus, Ohio. $2 million to acquire, 36,000 rounds per year at an average blended rate of $52. Total revenue, $1.87 million. After payroll for 14 full-time employees, grounds maintenance, equipment replacement reserves, water, insurance, and debt service, net profit of approximately $230,000 per year. Deeply weather-dependent, invisible to most investors, and yet, in a mid-size American market with no competing course within 11 miles, functionally a local monopoly that has been operating for 40 years. Scenario 2, a private country club in Westchester County, New York. 400 members, $75,000 initiation fee, $16,000 in annual dues. Initiation revenue on a normal churn year with 28 new members, $2.1 million. Annual dues across 400 members, $6.4 million. Food, beverage, and pro shop, $2.3 million. Private event and wedding rental, $800,000. Total revenue, $11.6 million. After payroll for 90 employees, course maintenance, capital improvements, and operating costs, net profit between $900,000 and $1.7 million per year. Not spectacular relative to the asset, until you factor in what that initiation fee waitlist does to perceived exclusivity, which is the mechanism that justifies raising dues 3% every year without a single member publicly complaining. Mike Kaiser was a greeting card entrepreneur who spent the first half of his career selling recycled paper products and accumulated enough capital to purchase a stretch of wind-battered, seemingly worthless Oregon coastline in the mid-1990s for just under $2 million. He built Bandon Dunes Golf Resort, walking only, no carts, no real estate attached, no residential lots, just golf against the Pacific Ocean for approximately $7 million total. It is now considered one of the finest golf destinations on the planet, with rooms running over $600 a night and a wait list for peak tee times measured in months, valued at several $100 million. He didn't succeed because he found a mathematical loophole in the green fee model. He succeeded because he understood something the golf industry spent decades forgetting. Nobody drives 14 hours to a remote stretch of the Oregon coast and books a $600 room because of the price. They go because Mike Kaiser built something that made them feel, standing on a cliff above the Pacific, that no other amount of money they could have spent that week would have bought what they were experiencing right then. The fairway was never the product, the land was, and the golf course was the most expensive fence ever built around it.